How's it going, guys? Brian Danoff here, and the New York Yankees are going to the ALCS. Um, Raise your hand if you thought that would happen. Maybe you gave the Yankees a chance to come back, but did you really think they'd win three straight against the defending American League champion Cleveland Indians? I really didn't. After Game 2, I was crushed. I was so upset, and I was very sure that the Indians were going to win this series. And I'm sorry for doubting the Yankees. I don't want to say I'm sorry for doubting Joe Girardi. I am still upset with his decision, but I can live with it now that they have won the series and moved on. You know, all the painful memories of Game 2 were washed away by last night's winning Game 5. Um, just a tremendous outing by CC Sabathia. You know, he got a little tired, got into a jam, but Joe went to Robertson right away, and good call on him, and the Yankees held on to the lead. They added some insurance runs in the top of the ninth. Um, Two home runs by Didi Gregorius. I mean, you know, I read a stat last night that this is the first postseason series win the Yankees have had without Derek Jeter or Mariano Rivera since 1981. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't miss them, and I mean obviously I think every Yankee fan would agree right now that no one's thinking about Jeter or Rivera or the core four. The time is now for the Yankees, and I'll get into that in a little bit why the time is literally now. But Gregorius has been just unbelievable. I mean, to think when they acquired him, he was supposed to hit ninth, can't hit lefties, can barely hit righties, and here he is hitting clutch postseason home runs off of Corey Kluber, who is still probably going to win the Cy Young Award. You know, he was fantastic all season long, and I can't believe the Yankees not only smacked him around in Game 2, but I really thought he was going to have his A game in Game 5, and he just didn't. Maybe he's hurt, but he wasn't clobbered the way he was in Game 2, but I was expecting a one-run outing or a shutout, and I thought the Yankees were going to have to score off Andrew Miller in the 7th or 8th inning, and that scared me. But they didn't have to do that. Brett Gardner with that insane 12-pitch at bat in the 9th inning to give the Yankees that extra run there, or those extra 2 runs, I think. I'm not sure if both runs scored on that hit. It was kind of a blur, honestly. But Brett Gardner, too. I mean, what can you say about him? I mean, I personally, the last 3-4 off seasons, consistently, not only was I sure Brett Gardner was getting traded, but I wanted him to get traded. This was when the Yankees didn't have the strongest farm system, and he was one of those costly aging veterans, and I didn't see much in him as a player. I thought he was very streaky, and he hits 250. Okay, he has some pop now, but he doesn't steal enough bases, and I kept thinking about how he plays on the field. And I was just wrong. I was just completely wrong, because you know what? Brett Gardner is the Yankees captain. Not officially, but he is. He just is. And despite his numbers that aren't the most beautiful numbers, he doesn't have the best back of a baseball card. The heart and the hustle he plays with is remarkable. And he unites this team. He leads this team out in the field every night. And I don't think the Yankees would be anywhere near where they are now in the ALCS without Gardner. And I'm so happy the Yankees didn't listen to not only me, but a lot of fans. A lot of fans just thought, well, Gardner's a guy we can trade for some prospects, and that'd be great. But no, he is an essential part of this team. He shouldn't go anywhere in the future. The Yankees need him. He loves playing for the Yankees. He doesn't want to go anywhere, that's for sure. He loves his team, loves the guys in the clubhouse. And just that 12-pitch at bat last night was just the epitome of what he's meant to this team. Not only this season, but the last few seasons. He really has been one of those veteran leaders. I'd say semi-automatically, because he is just by default now one of the oldest guys in the clubhouse, but he didn't have to take up that mantle of team leader and captain, but he really has, so that's just great to see. And again, for me, remembering him as just a speedy guy who came up in 2008 just to, run the bases and then challenged Melky Cabrera for the starting center field job and then when he took over in left field, I've been constantly doubting him throughout his career, and I've been wrong every time. So you know what? Maybe I'll keep doubting him so he can keep proving me wrong. But anyway, yeah, the Yankees are in the ALCS. They're facing the Houston Astros. Everyone's picking Houston, and rightfully so. But man, are the Yankees a scary, dangerous team to play right now. I wouldn't want to mess with them. I'm sure the Astros aren't too thrilled about playing them. I think, had the Indians survived Game 5, they would have limped into the series and they would have almost blown another lead. But the Yankees are coming into the series with all the momentum in the world and all the confidence in the world, and rightfully so. This team proved themselves against, the Indians were not just, the defending AL champions. They seemed to be a shoo-in to win the AL again, and a lot of people picked them to win the World Series. They thought this would be just like the Royals, losing the World Series in 7 games in 2014, and then just, with that 22-game win streak the Indians had, just coming out with that fire, that intensity that drove the Royals to win the World Series in 2015, the very next year. But no, our Indians are done. They blew another postseason lead, and here are these upstart, quote-unquote, rebuilding Yankees 4 wins away from the Fall Classic. And, again, people still talk about that no one thought the Yankees would be here. They arrived a year early or 2 years early. They have such a bright future. The time for them isn't necessarily now, and if they don't win this year, it's okay because, man, are the Yankees great. And I have to disagree. I don't disagree with the fact that the Yankees are going to be fantastic in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and they should get back to at least this point, at least back to the ALCS, sometime in the next couple of seasons. But I can't believe people keep forgetting that baseball breaks your heart. In baseball, things almost never go according to plan. Everyone's saying the Yankees have Aaron Judge, the Yankees have Gary Sanchez, Greg Bird, Luis Severino. They're great. They're going to be great for years to come. And I don't doubt that, but that's not a good mindset to have right now. So much can happen that can ruin the Yankees' plans. Aaron Judge, as great as he is, he may never hit 52 home runs again in a season. He may hit 40. He may hit 35 almost every year. But will he hit 52? Maybe, but there's no guarantee. Gary Sanchez, in my opinion, top 2, top 3 catchers in baseball. Maybe Buster Posey's a little better, but I wouldn't argue that Sanchez is that much worse. Is he going to hit 33 home runs again next season? Is he going to stay healthy? The Yankees were blessed with tremendous health this season. Once Gregorius and Sanchez came back after, in like late April. And besides Greg Bird, they really were so healthy. Poor Michael Pineda had Tommy John surgery, but you know what? That was addition by subtraction. Sorry. So, yes, the Yankees had that rough stretch in the second half, and Judge had that rough stretch in the second half, and realistically, if the Yankees held on to a couple more games, they would have won the division. They would have won 100 games. It kind of feels like they missed a bunch of opportunities this season in the end. But that's all for naught now. They not only did they win the wild card game, not only did they come back from a 2-0 series deficit to win the ALDS, they are in the ALCS, and they can't get complacent. And the fans can't get complacent. And I don't think we will, because we are Yankees fans, after all. But we need to stop thinking about the future, because this could be the best chance the Yankees have to win the World Series right now. This series, and if they make it, this year's World Series could be their only shot. We looked at the Mets in 2015 and said, oh, look at that. They're here a year early. They're going to get back to the World Series. It's all right. They lost to the Royals. I mean, tough series, but you know what? They'll be back. They'll be better than ever in the years to come. And now look at them. Now, I don't mean to say the Yankees are going to go down the same path the Mets have with, all those tremendous amount of injuries and just awful play and then having no farm system really realistically, no pitching. That's not necessarily going to happen. But man, could the Yankees come to spring training next year and Severino blows his arm out? Maybe. Could Judge tear his ACL next season? Maybe. I don't mean to be so negative, and I'm not, I don't want these things to happen, but they can, because that's baseball, and having watched baseball as long as I have, I mean, I'm not too old, but I've been watching baseball now for 12, 13 years, and religiously for that long, and I've seen so many teams that come into the year, everyone thinks they're going to be great, and then it doesn't go the way they hope. This year, the Boston Red Sox, everyone was like, well, they lost David Ortiz, but man, they got Chris Sale, and they're looking like they should be the favorite in the AL, and then look what happened to them. They obviously ran into a great Astros team, but Red Sox didn't end up having the pitching in the end, and the offense was awful. But so what I'm trying to say is, the Yankees aren't arriving early. The Yankees they're here. They're just here, and this is their chance. This season is their chance. And again, and this isn't to say that they aren't going to have great seasons in the future. I still think they're going to have an amazing run. They have an amazing run of a 5, 6 year, 7-year window, potentially, with all these young guys. But it can crash and burn really quickly. And right now, there's not much that can stop these Yankees right now. And if they can, I don't know if they'll beat the Astros, but man, would I be surprised if the series doesn't go 6 or 7 games. I'd be very surprised. And if that's the case, I mean, if they get to a Game 6, if they get to a Game 7, the way they've played in elimination games, I wouldn't count them out. And they could really win the World Series this year. They really could. And so to me, it's just not to put pressure on them and not to say if they don't win, it's a failure. This season's obviously been a huge success, but you don't know if you're going to get back here. You like to think that you will, but you really don't know. And the Yankees have been given a tremendous opportunity, and they should take advantage of it. And I think they have a chance to, and that's amazing. And again, the season overall is already such a huge success. And yes, they made the postseason. No one thought they would, but you know what? No one thinks they're going to win the World Series. Let's see if they can prove them wrong again. So that's really all I have to say. I'm cautiously optimistic about this series. And again, I don't want people to just think, the Yankees will be back next year and the year after that, because then you don't take you take what's going on now for granted. If I had known during the 2012 postseason, even though the Yankees got swept by the Tigers in the ALCS, if I had known that was going to be the last postseason series I was going to watch until 2017, I would have enjoyed it a little more, and I would have maybe watched it a little more intently than I did. So that's all I got to say. Go Yankees. Again, I don't know if they're going to win this series. I'm terrible predictions. But they have a real chance. And the Astros should be afraid. And the Yankees should be very confident and excited. And it's a great time to be a Yankees fan. They're back. The Bronx Bombers are back in October, playing their best baseball of the year. And that's a terrifying thought for the rest of Major League Baseball. So thanks for listening. Hopefully I'll be talking to you guys soon about the Yankees being in the World Series, but for now, they have a big task ahead of them to take down this Astros team. But if this ALDS against the Indians didn't prove to you that you can never count this team out, then I don't know what will. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Talk to you guys next time, and have a great day.